So I'm just going to go ahead and say it because this channel is my experiment with radical authenticity. So if you found this channel, you are probably in this same energy as well. My life is falling apart, and I refuse to do anything to stop it. Maybe I'm talking to someone out there and you consider yourself light seed, light worker, star seed, um, alchemist, chosen one, however you define or label yourself. But you realize right now that you are going through the challenge of your life. Everything that could seemingly go wrong has gone wrong. But Spirit led me here to remind you that you prayed for this. You prayed, some of you with tears rolling down your face. You prayed and you commanded. Because if you're on this level, we were commanding things of the universe. You commanded a new life to come in. You commanded generational curses to break. You commanded cycles to end. And because you did that, Spirit is honoring that. And so what that looks like in the 3D matrix is problems on your job, conflict in your family, misunderstandings with random people, narcissistic supervisors. That's another thing, narcissistic relationships. There's all a spiritual connection to this. And I'm going to do a video on that. The spiritual connection between narcissists and triggering healers and light workers and star seeds and chosen ones, and however you define, but triggering us into stepping into our gifts, talents, and powers. But let me get back to the point, which is that everything around you, once you've made that commitment in the spiritual realm, two things happen. One, I like to call them spiritual bloodhounds, started to come out after you because you've made a commitment, you've made a choice to choose the assignment that has been given to you. And that's why many chosen ones will call themselves that. It's not that we're all chosen. However, we choose the assignment in different lifetimes. Some lifetimes are preparing us for choosing the assignment, but we all end up choosing the assignment at some point. And so once you make that commitment, the spiritual bloodhounds will start to come at you. And this is usually in the form of narcissists. You'll have narcissists in your intimate partners. And then once you feel like, okay, you healed yourself from that, you'll have narcissists in your friend groups. You'll have narcissists, listen, they show up everywhere. And then you've got to become strong and learn how to battle that. But that's the first thing that'll happen when you choose the assignment, is that the spiritual bloodhounds come out. And then the second thing that happens is that when you listen, you be careful what you ask the universe for, because it is listening. And at this time, with the amount of work that we've done, it is granting the things that we command to come into our lives. And so if you've said, you know something, anything that is not aligned to my best and highest good, anything that is not in alignment with this new version of myself that I have become, that I am becoming, anything that is not aligned to my peace, joy, happiness, excitement, adventure, passion, pleasure, freedom, serenity, tranquility, love, joy, prosperity, abundance, anything that's not aligned to that, it has got to go. That was the prayer that we've prayed. And so now, when everything starts to fall apart around us, some of us are tied up in legal battles, some of us are tied up in custody battles, some of us are tied up in uh, issues on our job that might have us in some sort of probationary type situation where you could be let go at the end of whatever investigation is going on. But for many of us, we are, Spirit just gave me the download, like we feel like we're living on the edge of a blade. We feel as though we're living on the edge of a blade, and without the right calculation, if we move too close, far to the left or to the right, we'll split ourselves clean. But you have to understand that once you have made the commitment, and listen, I was so deep in my commitment that I actually told Spirit and my spiritual team that I give up my free will in this situation because I want no chance of self-sabotage. I'm breaking that generational curse as well. And so when you make these prayers and you command these things to come into your life, these other things have to break away. They have to fail. They have to, and for a lot of us, thank you, Spirit, I'm getting the download that some people are walking through this experience feeling guilty of the things that happen, right? Because like I said before, for some of us, there were breakdowns in relationships just off of misunderstandings and miscommunications. But what Spirit is saying is that there are no mistakes at this level. Even a miscommunication that leads to the breakup of a relationship that needed to end, and that doesn't always have to be intimate. It could be business partner, it could be friendship, it could be, dealing with a narcissistic parent, okay, or family member. And so it even misunderstandings will break those things up, but there are no mistakes at this level. Everything that is coming to the surface, which is what this energy, this dense energy is doing. Many of us have been in isolation or are going through a hermit mode, learning to sit in the stillness, listening to the sound of our own higher self, getting to know our higher self and what that voice sounds like. And it has led to, I'm hearing, an abrupt tension and confusion in multiple areas of our lives. Anybody that's listening to this message right now and this resonates with you, this is not a one issue thing. Oh, I'm having some, issues on my job. My supervisor is, narcissistic and she's a bully, but no, that's not what you go through at this initiation level. Thank you, Spirit. That's what we're doing. Where this is on this level, this is the initiation process. And so it's not just oh, my boss is, acting up. It's my boss is acting up. It could be an intimate partner. The relationship seems to be crumbling. Everything begins to crumble. Everything begins to fail. And if you're not careful, Ascended Master, if you're not careful, Ascended Master, you will internalize all of the failure that you see going on around you. You will internalize it as your failure. However, anything that is being broken away in the matrix is going to appear as a failure. It will appear as a failure. Right? Could you imagine there are people who they call them golden handcuff? You have jobs where you get this amazing salary, but you are so miserable. And when you quit that job and you tell people like, oh, I'm no longer at that job, people will look at you like you're crazy. People will look at you like you're crazy. but you have to stand, right? Or not even quit your job. Thank you, Spirit. If something happened where for some reason you got let go and you feel you're actually excited about it, you're like, oh my God, I got let go. Maybe now this is the time for me to step out on what I've been trying to manifest all of this time. Maybe it's my time to step out on faith. There will be people who will look at you like you're crazy. Oh my God, are you kidding me? How much money you were making at that job? Do you think there's any way that you could, maybe start to interview? And so they want you to try to jump back into it. Meanwhile, it looks like a failure to them, but a failure in the matrix is a blessing. But those who are not activated to that level, or who have that understanding, and it doesn't mean that we're on a higher level, they're on a lower, it's none of that. It's just different. But if you're not on that frequency, it'll feel like a failure. And so that's why Spirit wants me just to come here and to confirm, because I just heard Spirit say, buckle up. There will be turbulence, but it's what we asked for at this time. And Spirit has every resource waiting and available to us at this time. So fear not. So this channel will be Life as Omega. Just going through this initiation process and stepping into my new self, my new version. And so this channel will cover so many things. And I've had YouTube channels in the past, and I'm not going to do separate channels for everything. This is Life as Omega, and I'm just going to drop it all here, and what resonates with you will, and what doesn't, totally understand. But I have a feeling that if you've been drawn to this, that what I'm experiencing and speaking on is what you're experiencing, because the collective is going through something right now that's kind of universal. The story may be different in each of our lives of what exactly is taking place, but the energy of it is the energy of initiation. No one's coming to save you. This is where you use your gifts, your talents, your God power to solve this issue and get yourself out of this situation. It's part of the initiation process. You say you're a God, prove it. That's pretty much what 2025 is about, the making of a God. And I'll do a video on that. You say you're a God, prove it. This is the initiation process. We've made it through the hardest parts. And so just stand firm in knowing that. All right. So until next time, take care. Well, you know what? I want to always end the video with this. And when I find out who I can credit this to, believe you me, I will. I don't know if it was a book. I don't know if it was Instagram. I don't know. But the saying basically goes, behind me is infinite power. Before me is endless possibility. Around me is boundless energy. Within me is certain victory. When you say that mantra until you internalize it, you'll be unstoppable. When that mantra becomes a knowing in your life, unstoppable. Take care.